Welcome to our channel. Excuse me here while I kind of clean up. We got a lot to go over. I'm not going to go into the kit. You saw by the beginning we're doing Tara's car from the Avengers. That's going to be the second kit we do in the movie TV series, so we're just going to get right to it. We started doing some modifications to this body because Tara's car was a 1968 Lotus S2, so I'm not too sure what this one is. I just know that it's not it's got some minor changes to it. Like the one thing we're going to have to do is remove these turn signal lights up here. Hers didn't have them. Also back here, this quarter panel, this piece up here, as you can see, is notched. And on her 68, it started at the door line and kind of just gradually swooped back. So we have to change that. And then we have to change the wheels because the kit only comes with these wheels. Well, it comes with another set of wheels too, but they're both wrong. So we can't use either wheel because they're just like too far off to what she had on her car, so that will have to be changed. So those are the three areas that we got to take care of. The rest of the kit could be pretty much box stock. We're not going to do a damn thing to it, but throw it together and glue it and paint it and do all the other fun stuff that we come to grow and love. So this is what we've got done so far. We're using our spot putty for this. I like to using this stuff to build and kind of change and contour and all other happy horse crap. This stuff is great for seam work and figure work, but I'm just old school, and I still like the old filler work for doing this kind of stuff. This is what we're going to be using. Let me adjust my camera here. Sorry if I'm going kind of fast, but I got things to do. I got my Jeep up there on the ramps. I'm putting a new muffler and tailpipe on, which I have on. I had to cut the old crap out with my saws off because it's a welded on system. So I cut it right at the muffler. I took it all out of there. Put the new stuff in there, fired the Jeep up, and it sounds still loud as a truck. It's like, terrific. So I crawled back underneath there, and here I got a hole right in front of the catalytic converter, right where it's welded onto the front pipe. I got a hole right on the top of the pipe. So I'm going to go out there, I'm going to cheat, I'm going to use some clay designed for catalytic converters. I'm going to use the clay to close off the hole. Then I'm going to use a 1600 degree wrap, and we're going to wrap that, and it should hold for a couple years. For now anyway. I don't want to put too much time and money into my Jeep. It's an old 99, although it's in fantastic shape. I just don't have the money to be dropping for a new catalytic converter and to have somebody weld it on there, so we're just going to use that high temp wrap and clay, and I should be good to go for at least a couple years. That'll buy me some time. But anyway, let's get back to this. We've got the front lights taken off, and I used my handy dandy cordless tool here, and a deburring bit, a round, I don't know what I did with it, round deburring bit that I used for my Dremel motor, and removed the housings. And I went underneath here, used some scrap plastic underneath here because we obviously have to have something to put our filler on, and filled the holes in there, so we're working on that. The back here, I've got one side started. It's not finished yet. I got tape on here so I don't get putty all over hell. I don't want it to get in the seams or anything. So we got one side on here. I made a patch panel, as you can see here. You can see the difference between the two sides. I made a patch panel. I took a piece of scrap plastic, traced on the back side here, and ended up with a piece like this after I cut it out. And then what I'm doing is I'm sanding this down a little bit just to get it a little bit flat, and then I'm gluing my patch panel in its place to get that 68 back end. This will get glued right into here, and then we'll go over it with our filler, and then we'll have basically this 68 back end. So we're using our filler. Now this is going to be a little tricky because, as you see by the back end of the car, that quarter panel, you got a little bit of curvature going, and I'm using a flat piece of stock here, so I have to put that curvature back into the car, what's going to happen is when you look at the back, it'll look great from the side, but when you look at the back, you're going to see this curvature, and all of a sudden it's just going to go flat. It's not going to look right. I have to, put that curvature back in my patch panel as well. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of going over this 2 or 3 times with filler to build the center up, so I can kind of get that sand that curvature back into the side here. And I'll put a picture up of Tara's car so you can see the difference between a 68 and whatever year this one is. So should be seeing that about now. So anyway, we're doing that. We got our first 3 layers of filler, mainly in the center here. With glazing putty, you don't want to treat it like regular Bondo. It's not Bondo. All right, glazing putty was meant to be used as a skim coat over Bondo, or over your body work, to fill in any pinholes, any minor blemishes. Glazing putty gives you, when you sand it and use it correctly, it gives you a really nice smooth finish that doesn't show. So you don't want to put this on thick, and that's why I'm going over this 2, 3, 4, 5 times, whatever is needed. You don't want to go any thicker than 1/8 of an inch with glazing putty. If you go really thick, what happens is this stuff will crack, it'll crumble, it'll come off, it'll be just a royal mess. So if you use this stuff and you need to go thicker than 1/8 of an inch, then go in layers, and then you'll be okay. So the wheels that come with the Tamiya kit, they're like a mile off, as I said earlier. They're not even in the same ballpark. They're not even on the same street as the ballpark. They're just too different. If we're going to make a replica of our car, then we got to get the wheels at least somewhat in the ballpark. Might not be exact, but at least get them close. So I thought about just getting the Lotus Super 7 kit, Tamiya. I built that kit a while back. I don't know if I have it on my channel or my old channel, my current channel or my old channel. I think it might have been on my old channel. Anyway, I built that kit when I was doing the car from the TV show The Prisoner, and I thought, well, I can just pull the wheels out of that, buy that kit again, and just pull the wheels out. But even those wheels are wrong, and I really didn't want to drop $40 for another Tamiya kit just to pull the wheels out of it. So I thought, I'm going to go down my basement. I'm going to try to find me a kit that might have wheels that are at least in the ballpark to what Tara had on her 68. So I looked and looked and looked, and I ran across this kit. I never would have thought in a million years this kit would have the wheels that I need. But it's the Revell VW kit, the 68 bug kit. And as you can see by this wheel here, it's almost identical to the Lotus wheel. Obviously you don't have VW in the center of it, but you got your trimming, you got your center cap, you got your cooling holes. The only difference is that her Lotus wheel has more cooling holes and they're shaped a little differently, but other than that, it's pretty much the same wheel. So I got 2 of these kits, so this kit ain't going to go to waste. We can still build it, but I am going to pull the wheels out of this, and we can get that painted up, and it'll look just like her wheel. And this is much, well, it's almost identical. With painting, we can get this looking just like her wheel. So I took them out of there. I had to modify these wheels because they were a little too big for the Tamiya tire. These Revell wheels have a shoulder on them for, I don't know, whatever reason. Apparently the shoulder snapped into the tire. So I had to remove the shoulder to get it to fit inside the tire. And we'll have to make our own pins for the back to fit onto the suspension in this Tamiya kit. But yeah, these are going to be just freaking awesome. Now, these were all chromed, so I put them in some Super Clean to get the chrome off. Because Super Clean will take the chrome off these wheels quicker than a babysitter's boyfriend leaving the house when he hears a car door slam. So I think these are going to be excellent. Once we'll paint these wheels black, I'll use my circle template. We'll spray the center cap, and I'll use a marker on the trim ring. But once we get them painted up, they'll look just like her wheel, and you'll never know that these were out of a VW kit. I've already taken the VW emblem off the centers of the caps, so I think it looks pretty smooth. I'll know when I hit it with some black primer whether you can still see any of the VW, because they were etched in there pretty good. I got to give Revell kudos on that. They were on there pretty good. So I think I got them off. But anyway, that's the story on the wheels. So we have our Lotus wheels, and I think when they're painted up, as I said, I think they're just going to look just like her wheel. I think it'll be awesome. So that's the three things we got all taken care of. We got the wheels taken care of. We got the quarter panel taken care of. We got the turning lights, the turn signal lights taken care of. We just have to go now and get the body work. So I can still feel a little bit of the body's a little higher than this hole here, so I need to do another coat here. And this is almost good. Still feel a little bit right at the bottom here. And then of course this is what's going to take a while to get that curvature in there, but I think I'm almost there, because if you look there you can see my patch panel has that curvature, so we're getting close to matching the body, and I think it'll be all pretty good there. So that's where we are at on Tara's car. We're just going to keep working on it. So I have paint coming. I wanted to do this in lacquer because our weather has changed, and obviously if I'm putting an exhaust on my Jeep, our weather is warmed up, so warm enough to be shooting lacquer outside, and I'd rather use lacquer more than anything else on this. So I got a can of lacquer coming. It'll be I had some points on my Amazon card, so I got me a can of Tamiya bright red lacquer coming, so we'll be using that on the body. We'll be shooting this with red oxide primer first, since we have all this body work on it, and then that'll show if I need to do more fine tuning on my body work once I hit it with red oxide, and then we'll go from there. But once we get it all hunky-dory there, we'll shoot it with the lacquer outside and get her car looking quite spiffy. I think her car was a bright red. It seemed to be a bright red. I don't know. It looked bright red on TV, but you're dealing with old film, so it's hard to say. But I'm going to assume that whatever red Lotus used was a bright red. So I think that's it. I think I've covered everything. Sorry for talking real fast, but I want to get out there, get cracking on the Jeep, and get this taken care of and not have a really long video. If you have any questions, just give me a holler, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, take care. We'll see you.